officials for Game 1 of our best-of-7 NBA Final. Ed Rush and Jack Madden. Hugh Evans is the alternate. There was a smattering of boos for Bill Fitch, former coach and a champion here in Boston. And Tommy, Bill told us yesterday, he says, I realize I can't equalize Larry Bird. He's going to have a great series. My hope is to hold down 2 other Celtics. Doesn't matter which 2 each game. Then we have a chance.
I think he's exactly right, because Bird will not be equaled by McHale offensively or maybe even rebound-wise.
And I guess in game number 1, before all the adjustments, the teams are going to go with what they're used to going with.
They haven't played each other that much, as Brent mentioned, and they're not sure how to try and beat each other. Quite simply, they're going to have to develop a game plan of how to beat each other. And I think you'll see them go with their strengths and then focus in on weaknesses for the second game.
Celtics in white, the Rockets in red. Surprise for those people who thought it was automatic Philadelphia or automatic LA in Boston. And it's going to be Celtics ball on a violation on the jump.
Stole the tip, and pretty tough tick to throw it up so a 7'4" guy can get it at the peak of its, toss. It's really tough.
So here they start. The Celtics looking for their 16th World Championship. Beat Houston 5 years ago. This is a better Houston team and perhaps a better Celtic team as well, and we have our first official turnover of the ball game. Danny Ainge is guarding Reed. Bird will be guarding McHale, but trying to slough off him as much as possible. Reed with the first shot of the game, and the Rockets are in front 2-0.
Well, the interesting matchup as far as the Rockets are concerned, McHale's got Olajuwon,
which was a switch. The original plan was to have Parish on him, but they looked at the tape and they saw McHale block 3 of his shots the last time they played. 8 on the shot clock for Boston. Bird off balance, throws up a rare air ball, and it's Houston's possession. The Celtics have won, as we said, 38 in a row. Counting 3 games in Hartford, have lost only 1 game at home all year. That was to Portland in December.
Well, let's see who Houston goes to. Olajuwon being guarded McHale. That's a good matchup.
Bird doubles Olajuwon, who tries to pass it to McHale, who loses it out of bounds.
Double teaming him right away, forcing him to pass the Bolton and Larry Bird got into dueling passes, and the rest thought it'd be fun. They came along with it.
A 2-point basket for Larry Bird, who has made a living with 3-point shots, and the Celtics score. They're going to go to a lot to McHale, I think, because he'll keep Bird busy defensively, but the Rockets turn it over again. Danny Ainge guarded by Lloyd, so there's a switch in the backcourt matchups. Larry Bird hits his first 2 shots that hit something. He hit an air ball, and then he made 2 in a row.
Larry Bird against McHale will be able to get the shots off if he's isolated on one side of the court.
Here's McHale, blocked by McHale, coming off to help. McHale had 5 blocked shots in 2 games against the Rockets this year.
Bill Fitch wants Larry Bird to have to play somebody. He doesn't want him as a free defender in there.
Olajuwon inside gives you a preview of what he's about to do, and nearly 2 minutes gone by in the opening period. Sampson on McHale. And a goaltend charge against Olajuwon. Credit the basket to Kevin McHale, who really faked Sampson out of his boots there.
Kevin McHale says, when I'm playing against a guy that size, I've got to move him around a little bit and throw some fakes at him.
Celtics by 2. Olajuwon, double team. Lloyd gets the offensive rebound. Crashing the board was Olajuwon. Dennis Johnson pushes it up for the Celtics. Bird finds Parish. McHale coming back down. The ball handlers are Reed and McHale. McHale kind of a point forward. And Reed is pushed by Danny Ainge.
They want to go out and play Reed tough. But take a look at this great move by Kevin McHale. He gets great low post position. And if he can put it on the floor once or twice before the double team develops, he can get away, get the shot. But Hakeem ready for the block.
Sampson misses. Pass to Parish. Ralph is back defensively. Dennis Johnson. Celtics hitting from outside, and Bill Fitch wants a timeout. Celtics have hit their last 5 shots. Maybe the most important matchup in this series, Ralph Sampson against Kevin McHale. During the year, Tommy, Kevin McHale always is given the edge there, but he's going up against the taller man in 7'4" Ralph Sampson.
Well, we fully expected, Dick, that they'd be playing each other at either end of the court. What's happened so far is that Sampson has taken McHale, but McHale hasn't taken Sampson. Very difficult for McHale to shoot over a man 7'4". He's going to have to really move around a little bit. You're going to see this move right now. Sampson will give him the better position. Not a real muscle guy, and Kevin's got those good fakes, but Olajuwon shadowing is going to turn loose Robert Parish on the weak side, the way they're currently matched up. Up the other end of the court, when Sampson is playing against Robert Parish, they may end up taking him in the low hole. They've got 2 good matchups right now. I think they can work inside the Rockets.
Does Ralph Sampson learn anything from that move by McHale?
Stay on the floor.
Here's the shooting story, and Larry Bird has played a big part of it in the opening moments of this game. 5 out of 6, and Larry Bird has hit 2 out of 3. So the early timeout by Bill Fitch. And what do you think his first words were to his team?
Well, just calm down, relax, and let's peck away. Don't get carried away. Keep your poise.
They've done that throughout the playoffs, surprising a lot of people. Robert Reed looking for Lloyd. Dennis Johnson, one of the best defenders in the league, on Lloyd. Sampson against Parish. They go in, and Ralph Sampson pushes the bank. Olajuwon follow up and is pushed. That's one of the things that happen with the Rockets inside. They may not always score, but somehow they get fouled.
Well, they feel perhaps Parish is foul prone as Sampson, and as McHale not blocking out Olajuwon, which is a serious mistake in this series. You've got to go out and get him before he gets a head of steam up.
Foul is on Larry Bird, and here is Hakeem Olajuwon, who has been nothing short of sensational. Pro basketball's newest phenomenon, and opening up everyone's eyes with his play against the Lakers, but has been a 63% shooter from the line. Goes to the line a lot, but misses his share.
I'll tell you, he's not impressed with coming into the Boston Garden whatsoever. The first time he came in here, he said, "What's so great about this? It looks like an old barn."
Which is not exactly how he said it.
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Try to pass inside. They try to force it to the Celtics, and Rodney McRae picked it off. Lewis Lloyd saves it into the hands of Sampson, knocked away by Age, and they're going to call a foul. Sloppy play on both sides, and the foul is against the Rockets. It's against Ralph Sampson, who's had a penchant for picking up ridiculous fouls.
That is not what the Rockets need. Early fouls on either one of their big people, because they are really going to be the most troublesome for the Rockets.
You know the Celtics want to get the 2 guys in foul trouble. Parish over Olajuwon. Reed gets the rebound. Rockets like to push it up at every instance, so they don't have the pure point guard in Lucas anymore. Robert Reed hits his second shot, and with under 8 minutes to go first period, Celtic lead is 3.
They pushed it up nicely that time, the Rockets. Got that speed in action.
McHale going against Sampson, and Sampson picks up his second personal foul. And Ralph on the verge of being in foul trouble that would necessitate Bill Fitch going to the bench and Jim Peterson.
I think the Celtics so far have worked both matchups. Once for Robert Parish against Hakeem down on the low post, and and a few times for McHale. So they're definitely trying to work those 2 guys into early foul trouble.
Jim Peterson, who has come on strong off the bench, much stronger than he was when he was drafted 51st out of Minnesota, and has been a fine backup front court man for Bill Fitch. McHale misses 2 free throws, and the Rockets will try to cut it to 1. Olajuwon trying to post up McHale. Now Sampson down low against Parish. Reed finds an opening, and Robert Reed, the leader of this club, who played well against the Celtics 5 years ago, scores, and Houston has run off 5 in a row now.
You don't expect anybody to penetrate like that, but penetration will score because the Celtics are not going to go for block shots. They're going to keep a body on Olajuwon and Sampson.
Reed commits his first personal foul. The Rockets are a different team now than they were during the regular season, and Pat Riley learned that lesson solidly. To make that extra pass to McHale going in, and he'll go to the line, and that'll be against Ralph Sampson, I think, and that's 3 on Sampson. So early foul trouble for Ralph. 7:15 to go in the first, and Jim Peterson enters the game.
Going to see Bird come off a pick here. Set nicely by McHale. Sampson has to switch, and Bird is just canny enough to create the foul situation.
So here's Jim Peterson, who has a big responsibility now in for Ralph Sampson, and we'll see how much Kevin McHale tries to test him in. They were both out of Minnesota. In fact, McHale tried to recruit Peterson, who originally wanted to attend Duke in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
He's going to have to score a little bit in this series. Didn't have to in the last one.
And he's not known for his offense. He can board and he can play defense. Lewis Lloyd missing from the corner, and the rebound by Dennis Johnson. 3-point Celtic lead, 12-9. First period, game 1. Parish. It was deflected by Olajuwon. And here comes Robert Reed again.
Parish usually gets that shot off against anybody.
Olajuwon on a feed from Reed. So Reed, not a true point guard by any stretch of the imagination, looked like one there. McHale posting up Peterson. Welcome to the club, Jim, and McHale scores on it. Quickly back. Reed doing most of the ball handling, more than McRae, who's playing outside. Bird now doubling on Olajuwon, leaving McRae open. Oh! He had the layup, missed it, and the Celtics 3-on-2 to Bird. Five-point Boston lead.
Celtics may not have speed on their fast break, but they know how to get the ball to the right guy.
And McHale commits his first foul against Olajuwon. Tough inside. Here's the Boston Celtic break.
You're going to see Dennis Johnson come to the middle, look to see if both wings are filled, and then creates the open lane for Larry Bird for the stuff. He looked off the defense, made an easy pass to Bird.
Here's the early shooting story. The Celtics have been hot. Olajuwon continues to struggle from the free throw line. Bill Fitch yesterday was telling us whatever he's doing offensively, his real potential, he feels, is on the defensive end.
I don't think he's going to be roaming around quite as much in this series playing shadow defense as he did against the Lakers, because Parish will take advantage going to the boards against him.
Celtics shooting well, leading by 4. Mano a mano with Olajuwon, and the Rockets with Lewis Lloyd bringing it down. Lloyd is a tough open court player in traffic. Feeds inside to McRae, who uses his body well, and the Rockets trail by a bucket.
And the Rockets are keying on looking for McRae when Bird is back zoning it.
Dennis Johnson missing. Peterson gets the rebound. Celtics back defensively. That's not going to stop Lewis Lloyd. Olajuwon tries to stuff it in, but you can see that he's following it up pretty well. Celtics breaking now. Dennis Johnson is fouled. What does that tell you? That Hakeem Olajuwon, who didn't get the stuff, doing the job as a trailer there.
When he comes up the floor like that, he's going to beat any of the Celtic big guys. He can be a real force on cleanup rebounders on the fast break. He missed it that time, but if he keeps running, he's going to make his presence felt.
Rodney McRae committing the foul, and here's the catalyst of this club, great money player who performs his best under pressure, Dennis Johnson, who was the MVP of the '79 championship series won by Seattle. There's Scott Wedman, who is out of action in civilian clothes with the fractured ribs. Johnson, by the way, already has 5 rebounds.
Well, the Boston guards can rebound. The Rockets guards help immensely in the LA series in that department.
Mitchell Wiggins in particular, who hasn't yet come in. 1 out of 2 for Dennis Johnson. Winding down to 5 minutes to go opening period. 3-point lead for the Celtics. Olajuwon. Rainbow shot, misses everything. Left-handed pass by Bird. Break by Boston. McHale. Great play. Bird has 8. McHale has 6. 14 for those two forwards. And Bill Walton gets off the bench. On the turnover. McHale and a foul.
See some good defense, create a good opportunity. Parish picks it up, but the Celtics push it down the sideline. They can advance it, but look how quickly. This is the Celtics variation of the fast break. Quick low post-ups by Kevin McHale. Tough to defend against that.
Bill Walton has come into the game. The 6th man of the year, voted in the NBA. 33 years old. He's in for Parish. Foul was on Peterson, who goes on the offensive and misses everything. Celtics defense inside is tremendous. Bird to Walton. And the Celtics are giving a clinic here in the first period, up by 10.
Walton beat Olajuwon back on the D.
Reed, though, breaks that string, and Robert Reed has 8 points. He hasn't missed in 4 tries.
We saw these Rockets have the same type of situation against the Lakers. They hung in nicely against the Lakers.
And we'll have a loose ball foul called against the Celtics. And a good point, Tom. The Celtics are playing as well as they can play, and Houston knows what it's like to be behind against strong teams early.
And they didn't lose their poise in the last series, and they're hanging in there right now, and the likes of McRae and Reed will be important in that regard.
McHale picks up his 2nd personal foul. Kevin McHale, who has 9 points here in the first period. And the Celtics, not the Rockets, making hay on the fast break.
Well, one of the problems with John Lucas leaving this ball club was that they ran the fast break with a middleman, a push man up the middle. He had the ball most of the time. Without him, they had to develop another type of fast break with this man, Robert Reed, and more passing down the sidelines, and they really haven't had enough practices to make it work.
We're at Boston Garden for Game 1 of the NBA Finals here on CBS. Dick Stockton along with Tom Heinsohn. Celtics against a surprise opponent, the Houston Rockets, and right now leading 24-16 with 3:36 to go in the opening period. Danny Ainge, hand in Reed's face. Reed, using his size advantage, hits again, and Robert Reed keeping the Rockets in this game, perfect from the field and 10 points.
Without Sampson in there, Lewis Lloyd becomes more prominent in their offense, and so will Robert Reed.
Sampson picked up 3 quick fouls, went to the bench. Dennis Johnson now working inside, passes off the board, and here's Lewis Lloyd. Bird is back on defense. Pass into McRae, and McRae on a fine pass. That was Houston's version of their passing game.
I'll tell you, they get up the floor fast. If they can make the right passes, they're going to score a lot of points.
And a turnover by the Celtics. Peterson was alert, and now Houston down by 10, can cut it to 2. Jim Peterson misses. There's Olajuwon, and it's a 2-point game. How quickly the Rockets have come back, 8 in a row for Bill Fitch's squad.
The consistency of the Rockets running, very important. Keep coming at Boston.
And a timeout called by the Boston Celtics. And now you know why the Houston Rockets at least have gotten this far.
You're going to see speed in action with the big people for the Rockets. These two guys right here, Jim Peterson and Kevin McHale, are going to play each other up the other end of the court. You're going to see the steal now by Peterson and then outrace Kevin McHale up the court. You will also see Hakeem Olajuwon right now. Walton is getting back to pick him up, but he is going to have a good angle for a rebound on the miss. They keep putting that speed on Kevin McHale. It's going to take a little away from his offense in the second half. Now you watch Olajuwon battle over there. Even though Walton's doing a creditable job trying to block him out, you're going to get the rebounds if you keep doing that. There's another angle. Walton giving it all he can to block the relentless man out, Hakeem Olajuwon.
He has 8 points and 4 rebounds, 3 of them off the offensive glass. Celtic lead once 10 has been cut to 2, quieting this capacity map Boston Garden crowd. Larry Bird trying to get the Celtics on track again, and does. He is in double figures with 10.
legs in action right now. Hakeem has played a lot of minutes in this quarter, and he's still fresh.
Goes in against Walton as if he were not there, and it's again 26-24. Each team had scored 8 in a row. Now trading baskets, and the Celtics are up. Running down to 2 minutes to go in the first period. Celtics have the edge in the front court. Dennis Johnson wide open from Danny Ainge.
Bird loves to be double teamed when he's in that mid-post area. He finds the weak side shooter very well.
McHale going in for the layup, and now Rodney McHale, who Casey Jones says quietly comes along and does the job, playing in the shadow of the Twin Towers, has 6 points.
Now Larry Bird is worried about his speed on the fast break.
An illegal defense called against the Houston Rockets. Second time will mean a technical foul.
Well, they're attacking Olajuwon with Bird. They're trying to get him looking to see if he's going to help. And they're going to find Walton if they can.
McHale working against Peterson. And McHale will go to the line and shoot a pair. Foul is on Peterson.
Bird, you'll see being doubled on this side of the court now. He knows that there's somebody open on the weak side away from the ball, and they alertly move it to the wide open man. Houston, with their big people, don't rotate quite as well as the players in the Milwaukee series did against the Celtics.
Peterson has his second personal foul, and Kevin McHale on the line. Also, with his fine offensive weapons, was named to the NBA's all-defensive first team, and if he improved in any area this year, probably as a passer.
He's been improving steadily since he first came under the tutelage of Bill Fitch. Now he's become a monster in this league now.
He wasn't crazy about Bill Fitch when he played here, but Fitch didn't hurt his progress in. Reed misses finally, and the rebound by Walton. Ainge, Bird, outside. And Olajuwon gets the rebound. The Celtics don't have any offensive rebounds so far in this game, which is unusual for them. Lewis Lloyd, looking to get on track, goes off the glass with an outside shot in his first point.
If they take the push shot right off the push, the Rockets, Hakeem Olajuwon is going to get an awful lot of offensive rebounds, but they better get back on defense to protect against Walton taking off. He's hustling.
So Walton beat the Rockets down court the way Olajuwon and Peterson did the other time he showed on the chalkboard. Hakeem. Tipped away by Dennis Johnson. 35 seconds to go. Walton taking his time, slowly coming up court. Reed is on DJ with 15 seconds to go in the shot clock in this period. 4-point lead. Here's McHale low. And Walton tips it in.
That's making Hakeem's shadow defense pay for the Celtics. Walton went straight for the rebound.
Tommy said as the final seconds tick off in the opening period, each team going with its strength. Adjustments will come later. Steal, Dennis Johnson. Reed coming back. And Danny Ainge doesn't get it as the buzzer sounds, and it was Robert Reed hustled down court. Did the job on Dennis Johnson, and Danny Ainge just missed a chance for the basket. But that's the end of the first period of the 1986 NBA Finals. The Boston Celtics lead the Houston Rockets 34-28. There are 15 championship banners up there, and the Celtics will try to tack up number 16 here at the NBA Finals. Game 1 between the Rockets and the Boston Celtics. The Rockets have made a rocket-like rise in the NBA, beat the Lakers to win the West, and trailed 34-28 after one period of play. And how would you capitalize what we've seen, Tommy?
I think just exactly as we said at the top, both teams going to their strengths, working matchups. The Boston Celtics trying to get one of the big guys in foul trouble. They succeed in getting Sampson on the sideline with 3 personals. And I think Houston has just run and run and run and made it pay.
Jerry Seasting, the other key acquisition for the Celtics before the year, a 6'1" outside shooting guard, is in there now, along with Greg Kite, who's a banger inside. So a big lineup used by Casey Jones starting the second period, and we'll have a foul called. Mitchell Wiggins is in at guard, number 15 for the Houston Rockets. There's Wiggins, good outside shooter, an outstanding defensive player in at guard.
And very smart when Hakeem gets doubled, he'll go to the boards or get open.
Danny Ainge picked up his second foul early here in the second. McRae over Bird. Here's Olajuwon against Walton and Kite, who did the job on him that time. Bird has 10, McHale with 11. McHale on the bench, and Larry Bird. Miss. Celtics keep possession. Seaston, an outstanding outside shooter, hit 58% during the regular season from outside. McRae on Bird. He's got the height advantage in there. Reverse layup by Larry Bird, who has every move in the book.
Boy, he lifted 1 and 2 of the Rockets. What a fake.
8-point lead for the Celtics. Biggest lead was 10 in the first period, and the Rockets came roaring back. Wiggins comes out of the pack. Streak shooter outside. Misses his first try. Bird the rebound. Ainge trying to go all the way and penetrate. Terrific play by Danny Ainge, who Casey Jones says has been the outstanding player other than Bird in the playoffs for Boston so far.
Ainge has filled the cracks during the playoffs for the Celtics. He splits the defense. They step aside. He kind of got fouled there, I thought, by Peterson. Gets the hoop, and it counts. No foul.
And the Celtics have scored 8 in a row of their own and open up a 10-point margin. Right here in the second period, let's go to our colleague Pat O'Brien. Pat, what do you got?
All right, Dick, thank you. You know, when you're in the Boston Garden underneath these banners and all the tradition here in basketball, it's easy to forget there's another city involved in this series. And Houston, they're waiting for this series to come down there after 2 games here. And boy, are they waiting. This was the scene on Thursday morning after the Rockets beat the Los Angeles Lakers. 10,000 people at the airport. And I got to tell you, it took us 2.5 hours to get out of that airport. And the fans loved it. Now this morning at the hotel to send the Rockets off to the game today, a scroll arrived with 52,000 signatures. That's more people than they can get in the Astrodome in Houston. Yes, they love their Rockets. Now, they are savoring every moment of this series. And Robert Reed said the downside of that is they're traveling the wives and the girlfriends. That's fine. But all the luggage they have to take off the airplane. He didn't tell me how many of those bags were his, though. Let's go back to Dick.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. The rebounding picture right now shows the Celtics with an edge, but Tommy, tell me about Greg Kite's early insertion into this game for Boston.
Well, without Wedman, Greg Kite will play an awful lot in this series because of his big body and his ability to bang on the boards. He's not a very talented offensive player. He can score on the fast break, but he is relentless himself on the boards.
Then the 3-man show for the Rockets, 26 of their 28 by Hakeem, Reed, and McRae. So it's been a 3-man effort right now, and Reed, one of them, has it with 6 seconds on the shot clock. This is the jumper. There's Mitchell Wiggins with the rebound, and he misses. Rockets not hitting those outside shots and medium range shots that worked for them against L.A. so far.
I'll tell you, Greg Kite went out and got Olajuwon about 15 feet from the basket so he couldn't get the rebound.
Larry Bird and Wiggins with another rebound. He's a good rebounding guard. He says sometimes they forget about the little guys going through. McRae around Kite.
Here's a matchup for the Rockets. Reed against Seaston. He can get a shot off anytime.
Except there when Walton came over and blocked that shot
on the switch. But if he goes one-on-one against Seaston, he'll be able to get the jump shot off. Here's Walton right on his shooting hand. Swats it away.
And Larry Bird leaves. Kevin McHale comes back. And a hand for Bird. It goes out with 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Olajuwon, wild shot. Fighting inside. It's still Rockets ball with 9:31 to go in the first half.
Bill Walton is banging and scrapping with Kite playing Olajuwon. That's going to turn Walton loose on the defensive glass for the Celtics.
Kite and Walton and McHale, a lot of bulk and size in there for the Celtics. Olajuwon's pass quickly makes up for it, gets to Peterson, who lays it in. Good second effort by Olajuwon. He played goalie in the sport of soccer, and he's made that foot, eye, eye coordination work to perfection. Ainge. Turnover. Height to Reed. Seasteen was looking for a charge. It goes out of bounds. Rockets ball. An 8-point Celtic lead, and Larry Bird runs back into the game. Height will go out of the ball game. He did his job in the short time he was in there.
I'd say he played Olajuwon just the way you're supposed to play him. Block him out 15 feet from the hoop.
And Walton goes out, replaced by Parish. Danny Ainge gets a hand as Dennis Johnson comes back in.
Casey usually lets that second unit in there for a little longer than that.
Olajuwon with the basket. Hakeem has 12 points, and it's a 38-32 game. So once again, the Celtics opening up a 10-point lead on 2 occasions. See the Rockets come back. Parish. Bird on the other side keeps it alive. Blocked by Olajuwon into the hands of Reed. 2-on-2. Now Wiggins makes it 3. Pulls up, and it's a 4-point ball game now. Mitchell Wiggins hit. By the way, Walton went out with 6 points and 4 rebounds and a blocked shot in his brief period.
Not bad. They're going to count on him to really do a lot of rebounding in this series.
In a game of streak scores, Parish gets the basket and is fouled. Rockets had scored 6 in a row, and Bill Fitch doesn't like what he's seeing early on, and the foul is on Hakeem Olajuwon, number 1.
Well, they haven't gone a lot at Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm sure Bill Fitch says right now, I may have to just tell Hakeem to back off a little bit against Parish and not be too aggressive defending against him.
Ralph Sampson picked up 3 fouls and went out with 7 minutes to go in the first period, with the Rockets trailing by 1. They're down by 6. Wiggins to Hakeem. Basket counts and a foul. That was a move you don't see by any centers who have played this game.
He didn't even know the double team was there, and he gets the blow and still has the presence of mind. You'll see him now. Dennis Johnson makes a good defensive play against Wiggins, right into Bird, and still has the presence to score the hoop. I mean, this man has learned an awful lot of basketball since he's been in the United States.
Bird picks up his second foul, and Cece throws it away. Rockets ball, trailing by 3. So Casey Jones wondering what he has to do to protect a lead of 10 points as the Rockets have chipped away both times.
We're seeing some of the things that the Lakers ended up doing, throwing a ball away seemingly for no reason.
An 11-2 run by the Rockets. Olajuwon already with 17 points. He's averaged nearly 28 in the playoffs. Parish on top. Reed on Dennis Johnson. Bird with a fadeaway. Larry Bird with 14 in the first half. Houston getting off 4 more shots than the Celtics this period. 7:20 on the clock in the half. McHale going in strong to the hoop. The basket counts and a foul. Good acceleration right around Larry Bird for Rodney McHale.
That is going to be a very important move by Rodney McHale. It's going to get Larry Bird thinking a little bit about how he's going to help out on Hakeem. He's going to get beat by the speed anytime that McHale can take it to the basket. One dribble drive, he'll be able to beat Bird.
Seasting on the foul, and the Rockets can tie the game here. Rodney McHale misses the free throw. McHale quickly with the board, and it's 42-41 in favor of the Celtics. Peterson has had to play a lot of minutes with Sampson in foul trouble. Olajuwon has not taken a breather yet. Missing outside, Dennis Johnson, and they're going to call the foul on the elbow against Mitchell Wiggins. The top scorers in the ball game, to bring you up to date in that department, Olajuwon and Bird, to no one's surprise.
Leading rebounders, huh? Wow.
And here's Dennis Johnson.
Well, DJ has to offset Lewis Lloyd and Wiggins offensively. I think more as the series develops, that more and more pressure will be on the guards of the Celtics to produce.
Celtics have had their troubles at the free throw line. They're 6 of 12 from the free throw line. They have shot better from the foul line than the Rockets in the playoffs. And now Houston trying to take the lead with a little under 7 minutes to go in the first half.
Got to talk to that leprechaun that sits on the rim.
Wiggins. And there's Olajuwon with another offensive rebound, wending his way in and giving the Rockets the lead since 2-0. And they've done it with Ralph Sampson on the bench with 3 fouls. Houston up 43-42.
Well, McHale is not playing Olajuwon like Greg Kite did. He just turns him loose on the boards. You can't do that. Olajuwon will kill you.
And Peterson playing McHale awfully tight. Tommy mentioned at the top, strength against strength. We'll make the adjustments as we go along. Bird. 2 seconds on the clock. Parish hits the shot with 1 on the 24-second clock. Celtics regain the lead by 1. McHale isolated against Bird. Peterson short, and a foul against the Rockets. Pushing off inside against Houston.
They're going to try and take advantage of this man on the offensive rebound side, too, the Rockets.
A television timeout call and a 1-point game. The 1986 NBA Finals continue Game 2 on Thursday night. Prime time on CBS beginning at 9 o'clock Eastern time here at the Boston Garden before the series moves to Houston for Games 3, 4, and 5 if necessary. And there's Australian golfer Greg Norman, who had a fine showing in the Masters. Mitchell Wiggins got a technical foul as a result of this play, Tommy.
Wiggins is a good offensive rebounder, and when he thinks he's going to be in a good position against a smaller player like Seasting, he's going in there, but he just shucks Seasting. Didn't think he really did it. Beef to the official, picks up the technical.
He goes to the bench following the technical foul, which will be shot by Larry Bird. Twice the Celtics have had 10-point leads in this game, and twice the Rockets have come back. They had a 1-point lead, and now Boston up by 1. And Hakeem Olajuwon has scored 7 of the Rockets' last 9, so he has been their leader again.
You know, Dick, when you have speed like the Rockets have in their lineup, even a 15-point lead is not safe against this team.
Lewis Lloyd replaces Wiggins in the lineup. Johnson and Seasting in the backcourt. Bird, McHale, and Parish up front. Peterson is on McHale, the 2 Minnesota players. Hakeem trying to move Parish away from his mark. But Parish with the quick jump hook now with 8 points, 6 of them this period.
Good judgment by Olajuwon not to go for the block and pick up the foul.
Bird nearly stole the ball. McRae recovered and hits the jumper. Larry Bird, who's so great in anticipating on defense, nearly had a pick off for the Celtics.
You know, the closer McRae's statistics can come to Bird's, the easier it's going to be for the Rockets to win.
Parish under fire, out to Johnson. Dennis with a 2-point shot missing. Parish had position inside, double team, and he travels. They're all over Robert Parish. K.C. Jones, the only coach who has won 60 or more games on 4 occasions. Won the title in '84, runner-up twice, including with the Bullets in '75. Peterson against McHale. And showing him an offensive move or 2, and that ties the game at 47.
If he starts scoring in that low post and gives them 3 players that can produce down there, the Celtics are going to be in deep trouble in this series.
This is our first tie since the game was early on at 4-4. Dennis Johnson poked in the eye by Reed. Says he's all right. Parish working against Olajuwon. And Parish makes a very tough shot against the team.
Well, I tell you, Olajuwon was right on his shooting hand, too.
Celtics lead by 2. And Olajuwon says, no, you don't. We've tied it up again. Danny Ainge on the sideline getting ready to come back.
I think the best way to play Olajuwon is let him catch it and then back off him a little bit. Don't let him spin on you. You're dead when he does that.
McHale against Peterson inside. And a good reverse layup by McHale, who has scored 13 points. So Bird and McHale have 28 of the Celtic 51. Back to Hakeem. And Hakeem moving out to the 12-foot mark, and he has hit 6 in a row now to tie the game again at 51.
or a puff to be seen here. He's really just playing under total control.
He's trying to blow this house down. And Robert Parish coming back. And so we're seeing front court scoring as we had promised. The action is inside and above the rim in this first half. Reed with a wild shot. Loose ball. It's against the Rockets. Let's see who the foul is on. Jack Madden made the call. And it's against Hakeem Olajuwon, his second, as Danny Ainge replaces Jerry Seasting for the Celtics.
Well, what the Celtics are doing right now is making Olajuwon face the ball every time they don't have a fast break, trying to tire him out that way, maybe pick up a foul. Olajuwon not dented emotionally by it at all.
Parish, inside move against Hakeem. Short. Reed gets the rebound. Lead pass to Lloyd. Throws it into the hands of Danny Ainge, and the Celtics think they've got something going here. And it's McHale who knocked the pass away, and at the other end is Lewis Lloyd. And the former Overbrook High School star out of Philadelphia, which produced Wilt Chamberlain, among other people, has tied the game once more.
You don't see the Celtics throw the ball away that frequently on the fast break. They usually use that trailer, fourth man up the court beautifully. That time they didn't.
Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn will be hearing from Brent Musburger and company at the half. We're tied, game one, best of 7 NBA Finals. The unlikely Rockets against the Celtics. Someone grabbed a hold of Parish's jersey from behind, but he scored anyway.
Well, I think he got the benefit of the doubt that time, Olajuwon.
Celtics by 2. McHale playing a very smart game. Hakeem again hits, and this Boston Garden crowd can't believe what they're seeing. And Hakeem Olajuwon has scored 25 points here in this first period to keep Bill Fitch's team very much in the thick of things.
Here's Hakeem getting away with one. Makes the steal, but holds on to Parish. And you get a hold of 0-0, you ought to come up with something, you know.
Bird working against McHale, gambling. Bird going in and hits the layup. You gamble against Bird, you may get burned, as Rodney was there. Under 2 minutes to go, first half.
That is the matchup to watch, McHale and Bird.
Olajuwon going to the well again. Loose ball. Bird is hit in the eye. Larry Bird got poked. We've had a lot of pokers in this game, haven't we, so far in this half?
Well, there's a pulled jersey and now a poke in the eye. And Olajuwon, they say, knocked it out of bounds.
We have a timeout with 1:43 to go in a fine first half of playoff action. We're a minute 43 away from halftime, and let's find out what we have in store. Let's go to Brent Musburger. Brent.
Dick, thank you. We've got a lot going on. There could be another coaching change in the NBA. We're going to update the story on the Portland Trail Blazers and Jack Ramsey. Also, we will have our CBS Player and Coach of the Year, and our special guest with us here, Billy Cunningham, the former coach of the 76ers, and Hubie Brown, the coach of the Knicks. Hubie, what do you think about the first half here so far?
Well, if I'm Bill Fitch, I'm very happy. They're doing an excellent job in a low post, and if they can improve on the non-existent perimeter game, they're going to be dynamite.
Billy, your thought?
Well, I wonder about the Celtics. Is it the 8-day layoff? They just seem out of sync, or is it the Houston Rockets play?
All right, we'll hear more from Billy and Hubie at the half. Let's go back down to Dick and Tommy.
Thank you very much, Brent. And before we talk about what Olajuwon has done so far, what are your views about that? You've seen the Celtics a lot, and of course lately we've seen the Rockets.
I think a little there, a couple of days layoff might have hurt their passing a little bit, but they are finding out why the Rockets beat the Lakers. Hakeem Olajuwon.
He has 25 points and 8 rebounds, and a lot of them, most of them off the offensive glass. Ainge is open right now. Danny Ainge missing. McHale is there to keep it going for the Celtics. Minute and 23 to go in the half. McHale. Basket good and a foul. He had to improvise a lot on that, and Kevin McHale has 15 now.
And that's the first real foolish foul by Olajuwon, I believe. Here's Olajuwon. He'll come from behind and just hits him on the arm as he's taking the shot. I mean, he showed such good judgment working against Parish, and to make a foul like that, you know, that's experience. You know after a while when you come down on a guy, a referee more often than that's going to call it.
Each of the Twin Towers for the Rockets have 3 personal fouls, and Alan Level, who played in the '81 championship series against the Celtics, will be coming in shortly. So Olajuwon has 3 fouls. He's double teamed. Going in, the pass to McHale. Good pass by Hakeem with a minute to go in the half.
I mean, give me a break. A 7-footer splits a double like that, as easy as can be.
He's like a 6'1" guard. Isn't that what Pat Riley said? That's how he plays out there. So it's 59-57 Celtics with 10 on the shot clock. Bird, Reed is coming around to help. 5 on the clock. Dennis Johnson, short, and Peterson, and McHale has it knocked away, blocked by Olajuwon, and he just out-jumped Jim Peterson there, did Kevin McHale. Here's Level in the game.
Level will provide some scramble defense against the low post. He was very effective in Game 5 against the Lakers.
They have 6 men on the court for the Rockets. I don't think you can play that way. And finally, Olajuwon, who has 3 fouls, goes out, and a 20-second timeout called by the Boston Celtics. Well, it was in 1981. Larry Bird was here. We talked about some of the other cast of characters. This was the starting lineup when the Rockets lost to the Celtics in 6 games. Bird and Parish. Reed, of course, were here. Chris Ford is an assistant coach for Casey Jones and the rest of the group.
Well, you know, it's an interesting series. Moses Malone was there, did great work on the boards, but Del Harris, the coach of the Rockets at the time, elected to slow it down, probably, and Boston really just outran him.
There they are, Olajuwon and Sampson. Burden with 3 personal fouls here. 35 seconds to go, and Sampson has played just about 5 minutes of this game, and yet the Rockets trail by only 2, and Ralph has not scored in the game, and that's 22 points that the Rockets have gotten from him in the ball. McHale at the foul line with a jumper. Kevin McHale now matches Bird 17 to lead Boston.
You know, needless to say, Dick, with Peterson playing center, this is a very small lineup. The more that the Rockets have to go to this lineup, the tougher it's going to be. They could get blown out.
Peterson hits from the corner. 61-59, and the Celtics will play for the last shot now. I don't think the Rockets will use that lineup much. I think Bill Fitch knows he only has a few seconds to go to the half to regroup.
I think you're right, but I'm just saying if the Celtics should get those big guys in foul trouble early.
1 second, 8. Well, the Celtics had a 6-point lead after 1 period. Ralph Sampson has spent practically the entire first half on the bench and has not scored. But Hakeem Olajuwon has 25. Bird and McHale each have 17. And the Boston Celtics lead over the Houston Rockets at halftime, 61-59 at halftime. Underway in the second half. Ralph Sampson and Olajuwon with 3 fouls apiece are in there as we start the period. Rodney McHale hits the first shot and ties the game at 61.
Very interesting when you come out of the huddle. Who do you go to first? Rodney McHale. That's to try and keep Bird busy from being that free safety defender that they like to use, the Celtics.
Every time McHale does something offensively, he's got to keep Bird occupied. Here's Parish. And Parish's shot called. Robert Parish has 16 points at only 2 after 1 period today.
And they go right to Parish to work on Olajuwon, hoping that they can pick up a 4th on him.
Celtics adept at causing opposing centers and forwards to get deeper into foul trouble. Here's Olajuwon spinning out, and Parish has the rebound. The rebounding was about even, 22-20 in the Celtics' favor. Dennis Johnson led them with 6. Ainge. Rebound Olajuwon. And Hakeem now with his 9th rebound of the game.
Danny Ainge just aimed that one. No fluid motion on the shot.
McHale 2 for 2. So Rodney McHale hot starting the 3rd period.
Well, you remember what I said, Dick. The closer McHale's stats are to Bird's, the easier for the Rockets to win, and they're working McHale's number.
Bird with 17 working against McHale, who has 16. And now the Houston Rockets are going to be hit with a technical foul. Illegal defense, the second one called, and Bill Fitch doesn't agree. By the way, the Indianapolis 500, which was postponed yesterday because of rain, was again canceled because of rain with no makeup date. So rain canceled one of the great events in sports.
Well, we've got a track meet going on here.
A lot of tires getting worn down.
Some rubber burning. You're not kidding.
Celtics have had their problems from the free throw line, missing 7. They lead by 1 in the game. Sampson defending against McHale. Crashing the board was Ainge. Lloyd. Pass was behind him. Here's Sampson going in. Houston ball. It was knocked out of bounds by Bird.
I'll tell you, there was one guy that didn't like sitting on that bench for that first half. Ralph Sampson. Boy, did he hustle up on that wing.
Sampson against Parish now. Ralph with the hook. Goes after the second chance. Knocked away by the Celtics. Houston ball again.
Good move by Ralph Sampson. He's long cinched right off. He's got to get back into the flow of the game.
Can shoot from outside. That's not where, of course, you want him at 7-4. Olajuwon in a crowd. Beating McRae. Blocked by McHale. Here's Olajuwon losing it to Ainge. Tough inside play, and Lewis Lloyd tips it away. Boston ball.
I'll tell you, there's a nice lay-down pass to Olajuwon, and they try to get it back to McRae, and there's McHale, a shot blocker in his own right, and look at Ainge with those quick hands. I mean, a lot of defense being played here.
And one of the television timeouts being called right here. As you pointed out many times, Tommy, whenever Larry Bird has to defend an individual player and not play the team defense, that helps the other club. Rodney McRae has 16 points. Bird has 18, and Bill Fitch has to like that matchup so far.
And I think he's been doing a creditable job on the boards, too. But by getting him involved in that offense more, Bird now will have to concentrate on keeping Rodney McRae out of the action. And he's going to have to, it may take a little bit away from his offensive game to boot.
McRae was the 3rd pick in the '83 draft after Ralph Sampson and Steve Stepanovich, and that pick was acquired by Houston in the Moses Malone trade to Philadelphia.
A smaller man than Moses Malone, but just as effective. McRae. He's a bull at his side.
Well, they got a couple other big guys to take over for Moses. Bird going strong to the hoop, blocked easily by Olajuwon. 3-on-2 for Houston. Lloyd to Reed. Reed goes in with a 6'8" reach over Dennis Johnson, and the Rockets have taken the lead again, 65-64. Last time they were in front was 43-42.
And Olajuwon made the block, and he was 3rd man up on the break.
Dennis Johnson going in, the ball knocked away. It's still Celtics possession.
Celtics are trying to penetrate a little bit, but the Rockets are outfoxing them.
Bird finds McHale. Sampson has 3 fouls, and so does Olajuwon, with 9:25 to go in the 3rd. Dennis Johnson hits a 3-point shot. First one of the ball game.
And Robert Reed directing traffic. That's the man that's put a lot of poise in this Rockets ball club.
Sampson looking for Olajuwon. McHale trying to front Olajuwon and deny him. Reed, fall away. Ainge on the air ball. Bird goes for 3. And it hits up on top. It hit on top, so the ball was automatically dead. How many times has Larry Bird broken the back of teams with hitting the 3-point shot?
You know, he's a psychological master, Larry Bird. A lot of times in the Boston Garden here, he waits for just the right moment to throw that 3-pointer up, and the other team collapses. But I don't think the Rockets are going to do it.
Well, they haven't in playoff season. Hook shot by Sampson rolls off. Ralph is 0 for 5 from the field. He has yet to score, yet the Rockets trail by only 2. And Dennis Johnson is fouled by Lewis Lloyd, going strong to the hoop.
Celtics really trying to penetrate now. Take it to the hoop, get the shot blockers leaping. If they can't score, perhaps put it on the glass for a free rebounder on the weak side to come in and stuff it.
Neither team shooting well here in the 3rd period. Houston getting more shots. And here's Dennis Johnson shooting 2.
I think Dennis recognizes that he has got to produce some points in this series. And he was kind of on the fringe in the first half, but he's trying to make his presence felt in this quarter.
1 out of 2. 3-point Boston lead. That's how much time remains in the third period. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn. Game 1 of the NBA Finals from Boston Garden. Celtics looking for 16th title. Houston the first. Sampson goes up. Ball is blocked. Parish with the block shot. Ames coming right back. And the Celtics lead by 5.
Ralph Sampson not too happy with himself. I think he's got such a size advantage. All he ought to do is on the catch, go up with the shot, get good position, and then shoot it.
Seems to be a different player when he has to play center when Olajuwon is out. Rodney McHale on the drive. And Rodney McHale has 18, second to Olajuwon's 25. Hakeem, by the way, has not yet scored here in the second half. McHale finds Ames. That's what the Celtics have been doing to bury teams all year.
Their outside shooting much improved this season.
McRae to Hakeem, lost the ball. Bird to Dennis Johnson. And Houston wants a timeout.
As Larry Bird, the free safety on the Celtics defense right here, he wants to stay in this painted area as much as possible to help out, even to the extent where he's willing to give McRae some outside shots. And you watch what Bird does with it. That extra defender, good hands, and you watch what nose for the ball will step in and pick it off. And the Celtics have been playing some exceptional defense, which has created some real good fast break opportunities. That's what gets their outside game going and their inside game going.
Larry Bird has 18 points to lead the Celtics. He has 10 assists, 7 rebounds, so he beats you in a myriad of ways. And the Celtics have outscored the Rockets 10-2 after trailing by 1 with 7:15 to go here in the third.
Many people say when the Celtics start digging in on that defense, that's when they're at their toughest.
See how the Rockets respond to another Celtic surge. Olajuwon has to pass off. Bird stopped him. Sampson has the ball knocked away. Ames finds Bird. And it's still Boston ball. Last touch by Reed, but it was Larry Bird that saved an Olajuwon shot at the other end.
I'll tell you, they had a triple team on Olajuwon. No matter which way he spun, somebody was coming at him. I mean, they're grooving up their defense right now.
Ames. And Sampson out-battles Bird for the rebound. Crowd wanted another foul with too many elbows. Olajuwon inside. Foul. And the foul is on Kevin McHale, his third personal foul, and Olajuwon will shoot.
Start steaming up the court against the likes of Kevin McHale. McHale's going to get awfully tired in the latter part of this ball game, which could affect his own shooting touch.
Olajuwon misses the first. He's 3 for 7, and the only Rocket who has gone to the line other than Rodney McRae in this game. Normally he goes to the line a lot more times. He's not getting those situations inside to get fouled.
Well, they're spinning him away, Dick, and they're very happy that he's taking fall-away jumpers. I'll bet you his mixer of shots going to the middle to fall-aways about even.
Bird with a fake on McRae. Bounces it to... and a loose ball foul call against the Celtics. And it's on Larry Bird. That's 3 on Bird. So Bird and McHale each with 3 fouls. Olajuwon and Sampson the same number for Houston. 6:15 to go in the third period. Dennis Johnson got a hand on it. Quick passing by the Rockets. Reed faked the pass, took a shot off the rim. There's Hakeem. Took it away from Parish and burned him, and that's the first point. First field goal for Olajuwon in the second half.
You know, Olajuwon will go after the ball like a good offensive rebounder until the guy has firm possession of it.
Sampson defending against McHale. Parish is fouled by McRae.
Watch Olajuwon come in for the steal. I mean, McHale's leaning on him, and Olajuwon keeps poking at it like a good goalie in soccer order and puts it away through the net.
McRae's second foul. There's Hakeem, who has 28 points in the ball game, and Robert Parish.
You know, the first thing that goes, Dick, at a good free throw shooting team that gets a little bit tired is the free throws. And this long layoff right now, I think, is showing up in that department.
Larry Bird thought the layoff might affect the Celtics, but not for long.
Well, it's showing up, in my opinion, in the foul shots.
75-70 with 5:40 remaining, third period. Rockets were trailing by 10 on 2 occasions. Quick double on Hakeem. Fires it up and hits, and Olajuwon has 30 points at his playoff high of 40 against the Lakers in Game 4 of the Western Finals. There's Dennis Johnson going all the way in. No basket. We had a foul against the Rockets before the shot.
Olajuwon went right for the penetration, and they took it strong.
4 on Hakeem Olajuwon as he shakes his head. Bill Walton, meanwhile, gets the call from Casey Jones. And now Walton is into the ball game, and you got a fresh Walton replacing Parish, and you've got an Olajuwon who's been playing a lot of minutes out there for the Rockets.
Well, one of them is going to have to keep producing offensively for the Rockets, their low post game. I mean, Olajuwon carried it while Sampson was on the bench. Maybe Sampson, who has not gotten tracked in this second half, will reciprocate as we get down further into this quarter.
5-point lead for the Celtics. They led by 6 after 1 period and 2 at halftime. Sampson directing traffic. Trying to set a screen outside. Now looking for Reed's pass. 7 on the shot clock. Sampson still outscored 0 for 7 from the field. Ainge quicker than a lot of people know and think. To the spark plug. Dennis Johnson short. There he gets his own rebound. To McHale. And a foul. And it may be against Olajuwon, and it is. 5 on Hakeem. 5 fouls on Olajuwon and a big break right here.
The Celtics have been taking it to both big guys with their low post game, something the Lakers were not able to do. Well, you're going to see right now, Bird, a little push there by Olajuwon. They slipped it inside off the rebound before Hakeem was totally set up.
30 points, 12 rebounds, 7 of them offensive rebounds, and 3 block shots, and he goes to the bench for Jim Peterson, who played well with 6 points in 19 minutes in the first half, but he's no Olajuwon as Ralph moves to center.
Well, it'll be Ralph and Louis Lloyd. That's what Bill Fitch likes to do. We need some additional offense. I wouldn't be a bit surprised Lloyd gets more involved.
Dennis Johnson right on top of Lloyd, probably thinking the same thing. Steals the ball away. Ainge. And that's why Dennis Johnson is one of the best defensive players in the league. The lead is 9. Hakeem Olajuwon is on the bench with 5 fouls after doing all of that, 30 points and 12 rebounds, and I think you'll see this is a terrible call by the official.
I think it is too, Dick. You'll see the ball goes out, and McHale in the position there, a hand on the back of Hakeem, but what made it look more imposing than it really was is that McHale was fearful of getting his shot blocked and faded away, so it made it look like a push, and Olajuwon barely touched him. Bad call.
It's a very bad call because that can cost the team a game. That's 5 fouls. You're going to call a 5th foul. It's got to be a legitimate foul. Nothing like that. That was phantom all the way. 81-72, 4:25 to go. Of course, the Rockets have flourished without one of their 2 twin towers in the past, as they've proven. Sampson now has to go to work as the center. McRae get knocked away by McHale out of bounds. Ralph becomes a different guy when he plays center, doesn't he?
Well, he's so big when he's in that low post, he can get the shot off against anybody. His trouble is really getting good position. He doesn't have the beef to fight the bigger guys, the beefier guys.
A lot more aggressive, though, when he's a center. Goes outside and still struggling. 0 for 8 from the field, and the Celtics can establish their biggest lead of the ball game. Bird tries to get it to Walt. Lloyd coming back. Peterson. That's see how the Rockets face this hurdle now with under 4 minutes to go in the third period.
Ralph has got to produce for him.
Scores his first points of the ball game, and it comes with 3:44 to go in the third. Olajuwon on the bench with 5 fouls.
That's what he should do. Just catch and go up and shoot the ball.
Walton loses it to Sampson, who's a pretty good ball handler with 3.5 to go in the third.
Walton doesn't throw passes away like that usually.
Peterson out to Reed. Sampson fighting for the loose ball, knocks it into the court, into the hands of Dennis Johnson. 7-point Celtic lead, 81-74. Here's McHale against Peterson. An easy 2 for McHale.
Well, McHale knows where the defender is. He's the best I've seen in years getting a shot off on the catch.
21 for Kevin McHale, and he's the high scorer for the Celtics. Bird is on Lloyd now, doubling on Sampson, and takes the ball away. 3-on-1 for the Boston. Biggest lead of the game right now for the Celtics, 11 points with 2:40 remaining in the third.
And they're getting aggressive on the defense. And Bird, the free safety, having his way.
Celtics threatening now to open this game up wide. The Rockets have had an answer each time. McRae turnaround hits, and Rodney McRae now has 20 points, 7 more than his playoff average. In the middle. Sampson playing with 3 fouls. Danny Ainge, 12 points, 10 of them here in the third.
That's an old style play the Celtics use back from the 50s. A little split off the high post. You could see it was well scouted by the Rockets. The Celtics used the counter on it.
Reed. He's lost his eye from outside after hitting early shots. Celtics by 11. Foul inside. Dennis Johnson penetrating well here in the second half. Mitchell Wiggins returns to the game for the Rockets.
What a move that time by Dennis Johnson. He stood up straight. He lulled the defense into thinking he was going to pull the ball out and then bent his knees and surged forward. Great.
Lloyd goes out. Peterson picks up his third personal foul. David Thirdkill, who also is moving up into the reserve picture. Bird goes out, gets the hand. He has scored 18. Fine all-round game as usual for number 33.
This is the spot Wedman usually comes in. Instead, Thirdkill, who's not nearly as endowed offensively as Wedman, but he can get on a break and play real rebounding, tough, close defense.
One of the final cuts of the Celtics this year. Bird also with 8 rebounds and 11 assists with his 18 points. Sampson against Walton, and Walton commits the foul. Only the third team foul against Boston. Walton's first.
I tell you what Walton did that time is just stick his hand out there where Ralph might have been trying to grab it to shoot the hook shot.
Hale's giving Peterson the outside shot. Moving closer inside. McRae has a pick from Sampson. Pick and roll doesn't work. Sampson didn't roll, and Thirdkill picked it off.
Never stepped inside Thirdkill. Thirdkill outfoxed him.
1:08 to go. Third period. Wiggins now on Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson couldn't do any better, could Wiggins, on that play.
Without Olajuwon in there, not afraid to post up their guards.
15 on the shot clock. Sampson misses again. He's only hit 1 shot today. 15-point lead for the Celtics, threatening to break this one open. And Olajuwon on the bench with 5 fouls. Wiggins comes out of nowhere, and it's still Boston ball. An 8-day layoff, and the Celtics having some problems, mostly, as Tom pointed out, at the free throw line, have their game in gear now.
We're going to see a great defensive play in anticipation where Sampson likes to start the shot from. You'll see Walton now fighting for position against Sampson, and once he spreads out, look at the technique. Don't let him get to the spot. I mean, that hand is out there. Now look at where the hand is. That left hand is keep it down in there. Don't let him grab so he can swing for the hook shot. Good technique. Watch Peterson now try to keep Walton from going up court. Hold him, hold him. And nice pirouette there, didn't you think? I gotta tell Bill Walton about that.
Thursday night, we'll be with you at 9 o'clock Eastern for Game 2 of the NBA Finals here at Boston Garden. And then the series will move to Houston for the next 3, Game 5 if necessary. Keep in mind the Celtics have won 38 in a row here at Boston Garden and in Hartford, where they played 3 games, part of their home arrangement. Lost only 1 regular season game all year. Tommy, we've been talking about the front line and Olajuwon and Sampson and all the fine Boston players, but the Celtic guards have really come alive in the second half. Dennis Johnson and Danny Ainge combined had 7 points in the first half. They are now 22 points so far in this third period, and those are just the 2 starting guards.
Well, I said they would come into more prominence as the series developed, but right now there's such a standoff between the big players that some teams' guards are going to spell a difference. I'm very impressed right now by the way the Celtics have attacked the big people, got them in foul trouble, something that the Lakers were not able to do. They didn't have enough versatility in their low post game. They had one player, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the Rockets teed off on him.
Let's take a look at the free throw shooting in this ball game, and you can see a far cry from what the Rockets knew in the Lakers series. They've gone to line only 8 times. Last touch by Johnson. Reed made a fine defensive play with 33 seconds to go. 91-76, the Boston Celtics, who have had a marvelous year. Well, maybe one of the greatest, if not greatest, passing teams of all time. Great balance. Peterson. This is with a jump hook. McHale out of the pack. Dennis Johnson inside the third kill with a turnaround. Danny Ainge, loose ball. 7 seconds to go in the period. Dennis Johnson for 3. And Sampson has it as the third period comes to an end. Every Celtic is in double figures, and that's the way it's been for all but 2 of their playoff games. That's the end of the third period with the score. Boston 91, Houston 76. We'll be back after this word from your local station. All right, let's take a look back at this game. The Celtics with a first period lead. Ralph Sampson picked up 3 quick fouls and spent most of the first half on the bench. The Rockets had a 10-point deficit and narrowed it to 2 at halftime. And in the third period, Hakeem Olajuwon picked up his 5th foul with 4:50 to go, down by 5, and the Celtics outscored the Rockets 14-4 the rest of the way and have a big 91-76 lead as we go to the final period. Olajuwon back in the game. Bill Fitch can't wait anymore. Let's see some of the signs that the fans brought today. Jack is not here. Probably
they didn't give out sunglasses here like they did in Houston.
That was a tremendous effort. 36% shooting by the Rockets in the second half so far. The Celtics outscored Houston 30-17 in the period.
Well, the Rockets have to get back in it now. That's why Olajuwon is back in the game.
Bird misses. Sampson the rebound. Parish is also back in there. For the Celtics, they're going with Parish and Walton, as well as Larry Bird. 21 for McHale. He leads Boston. Olajuwon 30 points, high score in the game. Allen level. Misfires, and Dennis Johnson gets the rebound. Dennis Johnson has 11 rebounds.
Well, if Wiggins is going to take him underneath to go for the offensive board, Dennis is going to block out beautifully. That's one of the things he does very well. He played forward and center in college.
Danny Ainge on the other way. Familiar play that the Celtics have run I don't know how many times.
Well, the Rockets doubling off of Danny Ainge because Bill Fitch, when he was here, didn't think that Ainge was that good a shooter.
Ainge has been an integral part of this club. Come on to be a tremendous performer. Mitchell Wiggins missing. Sampson, rebound misses. The Rockets can't hit from outside, and they can't make it go from inside. Parish rebound by Wiggins. Fast breaking to level.
Parish beat Sampson up the court.
Wiggins going in. Good feed to Olajuwon. Olajuwon playing with 5 personal fouls. Bill Fitch has to go with him. Turns it over. McRae. Bird lost it to McRae. Level. And Olajuwon is fouled. Going for the loose ball. Turnover Story. Rockets protected the ball well in the Lakers series, and they're about even.
But they're fast breaking a lot more in this game than they did throughout the LA series. They were content to run their half-court offense a lot more.
3 fouls now on Danny Ainge. That ball tipped, missed. Walton the rebound.
Great outlet pass that time by Walton.
Quick passing by the Celtics. Ainge working against Wiggins. And the Celtics turn it over, but the Rockets are not capitalizing on the offensive end.
Not so far, at least. On the steals, they're not getting that break going.
Hakeem double team with Ainge and Walton, and a foul call against the Celtics. And the foul. That was on Walton. Timeout. Back here at Boston Garden, along with Tom Heinsohn, this is Dick Stockton in the first game of the NBA Finals. The Boston Celtics, who have lost just 1 game here at the Hallowed Garden, are leading by a 93-78 count, 9:35 to go in the 4th period. And one of the big stories for the Rockets has been the problems Ralph Sampson has had in this game. Picked up 3 early fouls in the first period, shooting only 1 of 12, following a pattern we saw in the Lakers series.
Well, he didn't play too well in the first couple of games against the Lakers, but he's the guy that made that winning shot in the final game. But I'll say this, it's very unfair right now to characterize Ralph as not giving it all he's got. In fact, that's probably what caused his problem, is that he was so anxious to get into this championship round. He was too aggressive on defense, picked up those fouls too early.
Right now, let's go out to Pat O'Brien. Pat?
We are underneath, we are outside the garden here, and there's so many people covering this thing, they can't get them all inside the garden. In fact, this basketball series is going to go to more than 40 countries. Basketball is indeed international, and with me now is Marcelino Benito de la Iglesia, who reports for Superbasket in Madrid. Basketball, American basketball, is very popular in Spain.
Oh, yes, it's very popular.
Who are your favorite American teams over there?
The most important team American is the Lakers, the Celtic, and the Chicago Bulls, because he play Michael Jordan, and now is the Rocket because it's the final playoff.
Now it's the Houston Rockets. Thank you. Enjoy the series. Basketball goes international. Let's go back to Dick.
Thank you very much, Pat. We've had the biggest request for media in NBA playoff history for this first game as well.
Guy sounds like they're very fickle fans over in Spain. Now it's the Rockets, huh?
They got there just in the last 24 hours, I think. Allen Level controlling outside. Danny Ainge on him. Picks up the pass intended for Olajuwon. So Level telegraphed that pass, and Ainge made an easy pickoff.
And the Celtics are sitting back because the Rockets have not hit the outside shot. They'll pick off a lot more.
9:15 remaining in the 4th period. Walton. Running hook shot. 8 points for Bill Walton, who also has 7 rebounds. Doing his usual superlative job off the bench. Olajuwon. Whistle. No basket if it had gone. Danny Ainge in the pack picks up his 4th foul. Top scorers in this game. Olajuwon, who had 25 points at halftime, has 32. Kevin McHale with 21 for the Celtics. All 5 starters, as usual, in double figures. Wiggins pass picked off by Bird. Boy, when the Celtics, they're like sharks out there, aren't they?
I'll tell you, they open up what looks like an area to pass to, and then they close it down. They bait you into it. That's how smart their defense is.
95-78, the Celtics lead. Parish, free inside. side. He used to be here in Boston. And Coach Larry Bird in his rookie year, and Bird said Bill Fitch was the best coach I played for.
You see the savvy in action. Remember we talked about the court savvy?
They're doing it.
The Celtics are picking them apart right now. Wherever the opening is, they're giving it to them.
Allen Level got that last shot. McHale on Bird. They isolate Bird. Under 8 minutes to go in the fourth. Bird, the last resort.
I'll tell you, the presence of mind to know that Olajuwon was coming and then to make sure it lofted over Olajuwon's hand.
99-80, and the Celtics right now in a rout over the Houston Rockets. Pick off another one, and they can do it at will the way they're playing. You give them an opening, and they'll do what they want. Dennis Johnson. And a 20-second timeout called by Houston. Listen to the Boston crowd.
Bird with the up fake, and they're going to watch Larry Bird now on defense kind of bait them right into making a bad pass. He's on the weak side. He's looking, steps out, knows that it's going cross court, just steps right back in. That's what you talk about, the computer mind of Larry Bird. He's 3 steps ahead of you. When the wheels turn, he outthinks you.
And that's what he's done today. 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 12 assists. Coming back from an injury-plagued series against the Lakers last year. He wasn't himself. He's healthy and hungry this time. Wiggins. And Mitchell Wiggins hitting outside. Rockets have just been ineffective for the most part, other than a couple of flurries by Reed outside today. Just 7 minutes to go. 101-82. 21-point lead moments ago was the Celtics' biggest in the game. Bird backing McHale in. Now Wiggins helping out. Ames. Walton, no one there. And Walton scores easily. Olajuwon looks like he just stood there.
I'll tell you right now, Dick, what is really showing in this ball game is a little venom in the hearts of the Celtics. I mean, they want to go for the juggler to take that confidence away from the Rockets.
Level hits a three-pointer from the corner. And Ainge, releasing the other way, gets 2 of them back. Robert Reed, that's what he thinks of this game. And, you know, it's a good point, Tommy. And as we look ahead, as we get down to the end, how the Rockets respond to this will tell a lot about what they're made of, too.
Take no prisoners. That's Larry Bird's motto. I mean, he is a juggler player. I mean, he goes right for the vein that pumps, gets the blood from the heart.
Last touch by Wiggins. Lewis Lloyd has 4 points, and he looks like he'd want to be anywhere but Boston Garden right now. Timeout with 5:54 to go. It's been that kind of afternoon for Mitchell and company for the Houston Rockets. Tommy, remember when people said the Boston Celtics just don't have the good backcourt? Dennis Johnson, who always at his best in a championship series, has 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists. Danny Ainge has really come alive, and a tremendous spark plug on the fast break, pesky defender. Those two have led the way in the backcourt for the Celtics.
Well, they are really court savvy, to use that phrase again. They pick their spots. When they need it, they know when to take the shots. They might spend the whole quarter setting up a guy to let him think that they own him, you know, and all of a sudden they make their move.
No surprise to Bill Fitch, who said yesterday to us, the Celtics have no weaknesses. Our job in game 1 is just to try to search for it. I don't think he's found it yet.
Well, they got the matchup against Bird. McHale was holding his own. What I really think the problem is the eagerness of the Rockets reared its ugly head, and they picked up those early fouls and took them right out of their rhythm.
5:45 remaining in the fourth period. Olajuwon, a great first half, slowed down a bit. And Larry Bird gets called for the foul. Doesn't appreciate that one. And Bird now with his 4th foul. Shooting foul.
That might have been clean, I'll tell you. But anytime you come down with your hand towards the ball, 9 out of 10 times the referee's going to call a foul on you.
Olajuwon was called for his 5th foul, which seemed to take the air out of the Rockets' balloon in what was a bad call from every angle that we could see.
I say this, though, that the Celtics have, and part of their game plan is going to take it to Olajuwon and try and get fouls on him. So if he is less aggressive in shot blocking, it could have a bad effect the other way.
105-88. The Rockets stayed with the Celtics, trailing by 2 at halftime, and then in the 3rd period, the Celtics opened it up. Sampson had foul trouble early. Olajuwon failed foul trouble later in the game. They're both in there, but the Celtics definitely in control of this one.
Now is the point where you're going to find out whether the Rockets have poise. Climb back into this thing, and really, you've got to say, 4th quarter, don't roll over.
Level misses a 3-point attempt. McHale gets a rebound. I don't necessarily think if they don't come back, they don't have poise, but if they do, it could be a big boost for them.
That's what we're talking about, the confidence factor. Don't show that you're getting beaten this bad. You got to go keep plugging right down to the end of the ball game.
Even if you don't win, which is unlikely for them. Ames with a short jump shot. Sampson the rebound to Level. Level trying to push it up. Almost overran the ball, and a Celtic foul on Dennis Johnson, who can't believe that call.
That's one of Dennis Johnson's favorite moves, to poke at the ball as the man thinks he's going to get by him. I'll tell you, about 80% of the time he's successful.
Look at the balanced scoring for the Celtics. 21 for McHale, 20 for Bird, 19 for Dennis Johnson and Robert Parish, 16 for Ainge and Walton off the bench with 10. There is Bill Walton. What a great acquisition. You want to talk about a rebirth in basketball interest for the guy who was part of a championship team with Portland in '77.
I mean, he was like a kid just let out of high school to play his first game when he showed up here, let alone the veteran that he is. Very happy to be here with the Celtics. Always wanted to play here, he said.
He likes hanging around Harvard Square. Those are his kind of people. 4:35 to go now. Harris setting a screen. Johnson, Wiggins fights through it. Bird, where did he come from? Parish gets Sampson and Olajuwon in the air and scores. That says a lot, that one alone.
That is experience. A nice dribble and an up fake lifted both of them.
Into Hakeem. Robert Reed. He was there early, Reed. 10 points in the first period, has 12 in the game. Bird down at the other end. And Level commits the foul.
That's the type of hustle that the Rockets need, though, that Allen Level just provided. Give no quarter. Give no easy baskets. Watch Parish lift the Twin Towers. Nice laydown pass for Bird. There's the step in. Another fake. That lifts Olajuwon. That is court savvy in action once again.
This is a breakaway foul. So it'll be a 2-shot foul for Larry Bird. And it'll be the Celtics' possession. It was a foul, I have called a breakaway foul, and Bird was deemed by the officials to be ahead of the pack and up.
I think he went strictly for the ball. I don't think that was a breakaway foul.
Sam Vincent getting set to come in. So Casey Jones going deep into his bench. Here's Vincent, a rookie from Michigan State, replaces Dennis Johnson. Just another day at the office for Dennis Johnson. Under 4 minutes remaining now. Game 1. Bird. This is a three-pointer, and Mitchell Wiggins. Bird hustling down defensively. Reed is fouled by Danny Ainge, and that'll be 5 on Ainge. Tommy, it's 108-89, and the Celtics are flying right now. Game 2, 9 o'clock Eastern time. First question, can the Rockets mentally bounce back from this one?
Well, Bill Fitch has been here before. These players, some of them have it. Reed has, and Allen Allen Level has. They know that you can bounce back from anything. He will use these guys as sounding boards for the next couple of days. What the Rockets really have to do, I think they'll bounce back okay psychologically, but they have to find a way now to beat the Celtics. They know that their strength, their supposed strength, is not going to work.
And we're going to get into specifics as Olajuwon goes out. He has scored 33 points at 5 fouls and picked him up with 4:50 remaining in the third period as Reed shoots another free throw. That was the critical time of this game. The Celtics were up by 5. Olajuwon went out with his 5th foul. Celtics outscored the Rockets 14-4 and have gone from there.
He's such an emotional force for this team, and Sampson, so long on the bench, wasn't able to pick it up after he went out.
Sampson spent all but 5 minutes of the first half on the bench. Traveling call. Greg Elo, number 3, came into the ball game. Elo, a smart reserve. Doesn't play all that much. Doesn't make mistakes when he's in there. Bill Fitch likes him. Hitting outside is Robert Reed. 15-point Celtic lead. That's the time remaining.
Little experiment going on here. Robert Reed is guarding Bird. Bill Fitch wants to see what Reed can do with Bird. Maybe he'll two-time him and rotate people at Bird.
Reed, Bill Fitch was talking about guarded Bird, but everyone says Reed did a magnificent job. Bird had some pretty good games in that 81 playoff. Vincent, who the Celtics like very much. Very quick guard. Rookies don't get to play much on this team. Ainge to Parish. Good inside passing by Ainge.
That was a soft pass up around the letters. That's what enabled Parish to handle it.
Sampson posting up. He's 1 for 12 from the field. Big part of Houston's problems today, plus his foul trouble early. Here's Ralph. Wiggins on the offensive glass scores. 2.5 minutes to go. What else have you seen here, Tommy, that the Rockets have to do to come up with an answer?
Really keep that running game going consistently. Push up as much as possible. You might see Allen Level in the game a little bit more. His wrist is hurting him. He's rusty. His outside shooting, but that push-up might be very important.
Jim Peterson with a jump shot. Danny Ainge had hit at the other end. Has 16 points this half. 2 minutes remain now. And we're going to see good rookie guard that the Rockets like very much, Steve Harris, coming in. 1:45 now. Celtic ball. Good day's work for Dennis Johnson. And into the ball game will be Hank McDowell and Steve Harris as Bill Fitch empties his bench with 1:45 remaining. We're back here at Boston Garden, where the Boston Celtics playing out the string with the Rockets. Game 1. Celtics last year won the first game of the NBA Finals, beating the Lakers by a rousing 34-point margin. They eventually lost the series 4-2. And Larry Bird was telling me yesterday, he says it's important that the Celtics win the first 2 games because going on the road for 3, they can't take any chances in gaining a split in Boston, and they've got half of that job done.
I think that very important, that new format, 2-3-2, and the Celtics, they feel, were victimized by that last year. I don't think they were, but they're very aware of not going where the other team can possibly win the series on their own home court.
Seasting into the ball game. Kevin McHale firing outside, and Granville Waiters gets the rebound, a 6'11" center and a project who played the last 2 years at Indiana. Also in the game, Hank McDowell, who joined the Rockets in February from the CBA. He's got the ball in there now, has a shot blocked by Parish, and is fouled. McDowell, by the way, played with the Rockets last year before he hurt his knee and has been with 5 clubs.
Well, he's a little savvy guy. He's been around, knows how to play. Did a pretty good defensive job against Alex English in the Denver series.
The story here is that Bird is out. Larry Bird goes out with 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 13 assists. David Thirdkill replaces him. In the ball game now for the Rockets, they have the 19th pick in the draft, Steve Harris, their rookie from Tulsa in the backcourt, and the Celtics, of course, have had Sam Vincent, who was the 20th pick in the draft out of Michigan State. Here's our time.
As Jerry Seasting, who may come into play in this series a lot more with that outside shooting, should the doubling of the Rockets develop more in the future games.
Elo goes all the way with it. Craig Elo from Washington State, a third-round pick 3 years ago. Trying to track down Vincent with a minute to go. 112 to 100.
Sam Vincent adds a dimension to the Celtics, that of a penetrator, something that they don't really have.
Elo, the turnover, 3-on-1. Peterson inside, lost it to Vincent. Good quickness by Sam inside. McHale and Parish have to do full duty in this one. Elo blocks the shot. You can see why Bill Fitch likes him, even if he doesn't play much. Good practice player. Got poise. Peterson missed. Houston Rockets. Ralph Sampson, who scored only 2 points today and was 1 for 12, 13 from the field. And they're going to need more from him Thursday night.
You know, and one thing I think I saw something in this game that they got another guy that can use the Celtics in their front line, Greg Kite.
Not so long.
Well, he played Hakeem pretty effectively. In fact, I think the most effective of any of the Celtic big guys.
For 5 minutes or so, and that's all you need.
That's all you need. More people at Hakeem, more people to wear him down, take the ball to him.
Lewis Lloyd, 4 points. Ralph Sampson, 2. That's not what got the Rockets here. And the Boston Celtics, after an 8-day layoff and a 2-point halftime lead, put on the steam in the second half. And Bill Fitch, who used to work here, now has to go to the drawing board and see what adjustments he can make after game 1. And the Boston Celtics, looking for their 16th NBA championship, have now won 39 consecutive games wearing the white home uniforms.